Freedom from the 3D matrix, a new era of responsible happiness and a 4D mindset. A film of documentary and meditation by Seal Josephson. Part 1. We started a new era. We stand at the cusp of a new era, a time of profound change and boundless possibilities for humanity. This new world is buzzing with acts of freedom, new technologies, and new ideas that require a paradigm shift in thinking. Yet, amidst this whirlwind of progress, there's a growing sense that something essential is missing, a key element that requires the attention of each of us. Even within the matrix of mindsets guided by implanted habits, many of us find ourselves yearning for deeper meaning, for a sense of connection with something larger than ourselves. We long to contribute to a greater good, to lead more meaningful and more useful lives. We long for a purpose, a higher meaning that brings peace, harmony, well-being, and human warmth to the world, something that is accessible to all of us. This yearning is not a coincidence or an error in the algorithm. In contrary, in fact, it is a sign of our maturity, a call from within to explore the hidden potentials of our world and the universe through the diverse lenses of our own consciousness. This is what we gain by watching this film in its entirety. For too long, we've been manipulated and conditioned by the matrix of guided impressions to seek happiness from an external source. We were told that a mysterious higher being would reward us for good behavior or encourage to pursue the accumulation of PFF, power, fame, and fortune. But relying on external things for comfort is exhausting and leads to burnout. One day we grow old, fall ill, and eventually pass away, just like everyone else. There's a saying, the last shirt has no pockets, meaning that we can't take any of our possessions with us into the next life. PFF evaporates. However, the mental impressions of our actions, what we think, say, and do, leave behind lasting imprints in our magnetoelectric body. These imprints, whether positive or negative, shape the conditions and environment of our future lives. They determine whether we are born into wealth or poverty, into a wise or to a not-so-educated family. Essentially, the vibrational mix of our accumulated experiences influences our new life circumstances. While negative accumulations result in a less favorable start, positive accumulations lead to better conditions. Therefore, the subconscious imprints of what we call accumulations, the negative or positive things we think, say, and do, are the kinds that endure across lifetimes. It is wise to focus on accumulating positive imprints through our actions, as they are like savings in a bank account, while negative ones are akin to accumulating debt. Positive accumulations that lead to a happy life cannot be expected from the external world. Rather, our actions and their consequences depend entirely on us. Our fundamental attitude towards the world and our reactions to the events that unfold are completely within our control. Hence, we should enhance our awareness to perceive reality more clearly and cultivate a happy mindset. Positive psychology has shown that this approach not only makes us happier, but also more effective in accumulating positive impressions through positive actions. We must be mindful of and act according to the law of cause and effect. We are not ignorant, instinctual animals, but intelligent human beings endowed with a sophisticated cerebral cortex. Our brains enable us to rise above the realm of ungoverned instincts and emotions, empowering us to exercise awareness and mindfulness. The prefrontal cortex regulates our emotional limbic system and instinctual midbrain. Only we are responsible for shaping our own lives, and the key to mastering this power lies within us, waiting to be unlocked. Would it be unreasonable to develop our awareness so that we can better control our own lives and, in doing so, also improve the lives of those around us? Happiness is a state of our own consciousness. Our houses and cars cannot experience happiness and joy. It's our awareness intelligence, our awareness quotient, AQ, that guides us toward positivity and helps us avoid negativity, benefiting all beings, including ourselves naturally. First, we must understand the nature of reality and become fully aware of the situation, both within ourselves and in the world around us. Only then can we begin to transform it and steer it toward the positive. We need awareness intelligence before we can effectively apply the socio-psychological tools of a happy mindset. Just as it's easier to wear shoes than to cover the world with fine leather, we begin this journey by examining ourselves. Therefore, we turn our attention from the external to the internal, from the experiences themselves to the experiencer, from the nature of the perceived impulses to the nature of the perceiver. The journey we're about to embark on is an exploration of this inner landscape, a quest to unlock the four-dimensional quantum reality that shapes our lives. It's much simpler than it sounds at first. Still, it is a journey that challenges us to question our assumptions, consider to change our 3D glasses, to watch and experience another movie, release limiting beliefs, and ultimately it connects us with the unlimited 4D nature of our minds that lies beneath everyday consciousness. This is akin to the depth of the ocean beneath the waves, or the unchanging movie screen beneath the ever-shifting images, regardless of their color or shape. It's a journey that promises to transform not only our individual lives, but also the consciousness of humanity as a whole, leading to a more positive and fulfilling existence that benefits us all. By combining awareness intelligence with a happy mindset, we become the mental champions of the world, practicing responsible happiness. Nevertheless, this is not a journey for the faint of heart. It requires courage to confront our own thoughts, emotions, inner and outer perceptions. It requires self-honesty to look into our mental mirror and transform our habitual imprints to wisdom. This will gradually make us able to discern truth from the illusion that the algorithm of the matrix has manipulated us with. We will also open our hearts to compassion, to embrace the interconnectedness of all things and all beings. The good news is that the rewards are well worth the effort. By unlocking the secrets of our own minds and consciousness, we also unlock the secrets of our outer world and all the universes beyond.
Shifting to inner awareness. Imagine a world where our minds are not bound by the limitations of the physical realm, where our thoughts have the power to shape reality. What would a world look like, sound like, smell like, and feel like if our hearts were filled with boundless love and unsentimental compassion, combined with limitless self-born wisdom? How would we experience a world characterized by relaxed honesty, where intuitive insight spontaneously reveals the truth and compassion guides us to handle situations with grace? When we achieve this inner balance of compassion and wisdom, we attain what we call the great middle way, which harmonizes all. At that point, we cannot be herded like sheep with a naively great heart, for we possess a situational awareness akin to that of Navy SEALs, combined with the sensitivity and care of a mother guiding her children. Furthermore, what would our mindset be like, shaped like, feel like, which is not limited to this three-dimensional reality that we currently experience? How would it be to experience a mindset without conceptual limitations, without fear, without suffering? How would it be like to have a four-dimensional mindset and awareness that is full with limitless joy and penetrates not only this space and time, but the limitless space-time? By the way, these questions were posed in the style of Lisa Wimberger, who developed and perfected a method for sculpting the brain's neurons. Through this technique, she helps people dissolve their own traumas, enabling them to create a better reality for themselves and others. These methods of transforming habitual consciousness are far more effective than visiting a psychologist or psychiatrist when we wish to take our lives into our own hands and transform our consciousness by ourselves, much like Baron Munchausen, who famously lifted himself out of the water by pulling on his own hair. So, a world of well-being is not a utopian dream, but a potential present, one that we can create by shifting our focus inward. For centuries, the external focus on the pursuit of power, fame, and fortune, PFF, has dominated our collective field of consciousness. We have been taught to amplify our egos, to cast ourselves as unique characters in the grand theatre of life, and to attend numerous universities to sharpen our logic, all in pursuit of success. We've been conditioned to become more efficient, to produce more, and to strive to be number one by competing with one another, all driven by the pursuit of power, fame, and fortune. This relentless focus on outer achievements distracted us from turning inward and perfecting our own mindset, which, in truth, requires nothing external to achieve genuine happiness. Let's consider an example presented by Dr. Bruce Lipton. We were influenced by the notion of survival of the fittest, a concept popularized by the English nobleman Charles Darwin, which drives us to compete fiercely for dominance. However, an alternative perspective comes from Darwin's contemporary, Alfred Russel Wallace, who advocated for the idea of the collective helping those who are struggling or falling behind to catch up. This idea suggests that, rather than adhering to the ideologies of a privileged elite, we, the real majority, the living people, should lead and create a secular society based on mutual support and collective well-being. We have also been taught to measure a person's worth, the so-called net worth, in terms of dollars or euros, equating human value with material possessions. Indeed, this outward focus has led to notable advancements in science, technology, and medicine. However, many of these inventions appear superficial, designed to maintain the illusion of progress, while more profound technologies like free energy and fuel-less transportation have been kept under wraps. We were controlled by the non-governmental, profit-oriented association of the 1%, the WHO, and Big Pharma. In many parts of the world, we were forced to take certain obligatory measures that many of us considered harmful and poisonous, such as mRNA-based vaccine shots. We were led astray by getting us watch fake news in TV, controlled by the 1%. We were tricked into wars while the elite financed both sides. We were fed unhealthy ideologies that are detrimental to the mental health, genetics, and biology of humankind. How could this have been possible? This world of the controlled matrix, plagued by conflict, rooted in the idea of divide and rule, egotism, genetic-based and economic inequality, was launched and controlled by the elite ruling class, which accounts for only less than 1% of the world's population. They ruled us from their lodges like shepherds herding sheep, and wanted to send almost all of us to the slaughterhouse, leaving only 500,000 slaves alive. They led us through our noses, making us giving up our freedom step by step by our own will. This mind programming of the Matrix, crafted by those who followed a so-called royal bloodline-based, satanic Sabbatian, Machiavellian, Masonic Illuminati mindset, was a mental, sociological, and physical prison from which we needed to break free. Luckily, this happened recently. Yet, though it may sound strange to say, it is smarter to realize that we don't need to harbor anger towards these individuals. We don't need to carry out punishments ourselves. They have already inflicted enough harm upon themselves, and the consequences they face align with the law of cause and effect. What you put out into the world is what you get back. These unfortunate individuals, often referred to as the 1%, are beings who were misled as well. They consumed the most of the illusory, still poisonous cake of power, fame, and fortune, PFF, believing it would serve their own benefit. They thought it would satisfy their inflated egos. However, this was not the case. The more harm they caused, the more addicted they became to the pursuit of power, similar to drug addicts. Despite their constant outer actions, they performed to distract their own consciousness being have to look at its terrible self. They did not achieve happiness. Instead, their ability to introspect and address their own subconscious diminished. Rather than accruing genuine positive impressions, they squandered their positive mental reserves on expensive and ultimately meaningless possessions, depleting their mental bank account of good impressions. Additionally, they accumulated numerous negative imprints through harmful actions, including those detrimental to others' health, and through the sacrifice of lives in rituals and wars. The magneto-electric imprints of these negative actions that stain their subconscious will result in severe repercussions in their current or future lives. We would not want to be in their position now, as the seeds of their negative impressions they planted begin to ripen. Furthermore, we shall note that these individuals followed an agenda that served external forces not originating from our planet Terra. This means that even these so-called illuminated individuals had their own cruel superiors. So what else could these gene-manipulated crossbreeds do? They carry the gene parts of a dragon's advanced logic. Still, they lack the advanced compassion needed to balance it. Thus, given their circumstances, these so-called light-bearers had little choice but to follow the call of their genes and suppress humanity to fulfill the desires of their dragon-like masters. Selling their souls to the physically existing individual we may call their Lord, Satan, or Enki, or the shining white dragon, comes with a heavy price, which must be paid according to the laws of cause and effect. It's just a matter of time. Now let's set them aside for now. Let us examine what we, the 99%, the living people, can do. The past has already happened. We cannot change it. And the future is not here yet. All we truly have, and what really counts, is the present moment. Therefore, first, let us examine the current situation. First of all, it seems that this collective field was the fitting one that has resonated with our mental impressions over time. Human history could not have unfolded differently. This reflects what existed in our collective subconscious. What resides within us ultimately manifests in our external reality. What we had inside is what we saw outside. Thus, we share responsibility for what has transpired. If we had been more aware and compassionate towards one another, helping each other and sharing resources, wealth, and happiness, our history could have been more positive and harmonious. Nevertheless, it is clear that we are on the right path. Our collective consciousness has reached a critical mass to bring about this breakthrough. Well done, all of us. We shall also thank to all those who have dedicated themselves to helping and uplifting others, life after life, until every being reaches liberation from the matrix of 3D dualistic mindset. Their wishes and efforts have garnered immense merit, allowing them to transcend the matrix of 3D habitual consciousness and embrace the freedom of a 4D space-time mindset. These are the brave warriors of peace, as they are called in the East. In the West, they can be compared to renowned inventors, humanitarians, or Nobel Peace Prize nominees and laureates. Simply put, they are those great-hearted individuals on the path of perfecting their awareness, whose purpose is to selflessly do for others, coming back willingly, life after life, to help others. Having collectively reached this positive vibrational level, it's now time to further develop these qualities within ourselves and help lift those who have been left behind. The time has come for all of us to shift our priorities. According to Rupert Sheldrake's research, once the old morphogenetic field is cut through, it becomes easier and easier for the ones who follow to experience the same benefit. Still, we have to recognize that true progress must begin within. What we thought yesterday, we speak about today, and we will act accordingly tomorrow. Mind is the king. Strategy is first. The rest just follows. When we develop and fully polish our limitless capabilities of the mind, we will be literally able to do anything in the matrix of 3D, just like Neo could in the movie The Matrix. In the East, there are numerous examples of individuals who have total intuition and play with the laws of nature like a child plays in a sandbox. In Nepal, Bhutan, and Tibet, almost every valley had a yogi from the Great Seal or Great Perfection lineages, renowned for their extraordinary abilities, known as siddhis. These yogis could walk on water, pass through rocks, fly, dissolve their bodies into rainbow light, and reappear elsewhere, transform one material into another, know what Mrs. Smith was cooking on the other side of the world, and even what she was thinking at that moment. The list of such qualities emerging from deep, introspective immersion is practically limitless. As these teaching lineages are preserved intact, such examples can still be found today. One can learn from them and absorb their so-called pointing out teachings about the nature of mind. Gradually, and in some cases even within one lifetime, we can also learn to shape and transform our world to our liking. However, the essence of their teaching is that it's not the 3D play or the film shown in the cinema that truly matters. What is essential is understanding that we are fundamentally the movie screen, the nature of mind, with its 4D space-time-like qualities highlighted in this film, within which everything appears and unfolds. The mental practices we explore in this short film offer a pathway to both inner and outer transformation. While we cannot provide the blessings of realized masters from the introspective lineages mentioned, blessings that can act as a turbocharger for our development or lift us out of the matrix with just a single wish from them, the methods presented here still serve as tools for cultivating a deeper understanding of our minds. They help us explore our connection to the universe and the true nature of reality, kind of like how the small greys probably spend their time staring out into the vastness of space. If it works for them, why wouldn't it work for us? After all, and though they might feel a bit embarrassed about it, we share the same 4D space-time nature of mind. These practices are not about escaping from the world, but about engaging with it in a more conscious and compassionate way. By developing our awareness intelligence and cultivating a happy mindset, we become more attuned to the needs of others and the challenges our planet faces. Responsible happiness changes us, and thus, it changes our world. We begin to see that our individual well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of all. This shift in perspective is not merely a philosophical ideal, but a practical truth. In this three-dimensional holographic experience, the subject, the object, and the action connecting them are simply different facets of the same four-dimensional totality. We are all interconnected, meaning that every action influences our surroundings, and conversely, the actions of our surroundings constantly influence us. Therefore, we should ensure that our environment embodies positivity and awareness at all levels, and in return, we must honestly reflect the same peace and positivity and aware care in our lives. Humanity has been given a new chance. It's up to each and every one of us to decide how we will use it. You who are watching this short movie, take it to your heart. Reflect on it, digest it, discuss it, and debate it. Stand up for it and protect its message when needed in front of those around you. We who are already engaged into this process need your support. We are counting on you. Would it be unwise to join a visibly winning team and become a local representative or ambassador of responsible happiness? To achieve this, we must turn our minds to our inner mental laboratory. Just as we train our bodies in a gym, we need to dedicate time to mental practices to train our minds. With the simple practices explained here today, practices we can do anytime, anywhere, we cultivate wisdom, compassion, and the ability to see beyond the limitations of our current paradigms. The future of our world depends on it,